Good evening. I'm going to call our meeting to order for January 22nd. I'd like to do a roll call before we go to closed session.
Yes, certainly. If you can please state your name for the record. Member from the City of Colton.
John Echeverria.
Member from the City of Loma Linda.
Dusty Rigsby.
Member from the County of San Bernardino 3rd District.
Dawn Rao.
Member from the City of Highland.
Penny Lilburn.
And members from the City of San Bernardino.
I'm Fred Charette, alternate for Theodore Sanchez, who said he'll be here in about 15 or 20 minutes. I see my other colleague just coming in.
Thank you. I'd like to note for the record that Councilmember Kim Canas is here, and we have alternate Mayor Pro Tem Larry McCallan in the audience as well.
Thank you. Do we have any closed session public comment?
No, we do not.
Great, thank you. At this time, I'd like, do you lead us into our closed session?
Perfect. Thank you, Madam Mayor. It's we have 4 items listed and some subparts to them. First one is real property negotiations pursuant to Government Code Section 54956.8. And the second and third items are pending litigation matters pursuant to Government Code 54956.9, subsection A. And the first one is Franco versus SBIAA. And the second one is Lee versus SBIAA. And then the fourth item on there is conference with legal counsel pursuant to Government Code 54956.9, subsection D2, which relates to significant exposure to litigation, 3 cases.
Thank you. Okay, with that, we'll excuse ourselves for closed session. Alrighty, I'm going to refer to our attorney for the report on closed session.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. As to all items on closed session, there was no reportable action taken. Direction was given.
Thank you very much. Okay, at this time, I'm going to call the open session to order, and I'd like to ask, John, would you like to lead us in the pledge?
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Please stand. Ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Am I out of order? So do we need to do a roll call for the open session? Is that?
You don't necessarily have to do a roll call for the open session, but I would note the change that did occur.
Okay, why don't we just go ahead and do a roll call?
Yes, of course. Please state your name for the record. Member from the City of Colton.
John Echeverria.
Member from the City of Loma Linda.
Dusty Rigsby.
Member from the County of San Bernardino 3rd District. Thank you. Member from the City of Highland.
Penny Lilburn.
And members from the City of San Bernardino.
Kim Canas.
Theodore Sanchez.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any items to be deleted or added to the agenda?
No items.
Thank you very much. Any conflict of interest at this time, please disclose. And we'll move on to informational items, and we'll head over to Mike Burrows.
So I'm going to start with Mr. Gibbs. As you all know, every year in January, as a commercial airport, we report all of our operational statistics to the FAA. And Mr. Gibbs has the latest and greatest. Mark?
All right, thank you, Mike. Yeah, this is a good time of year where we get to reflect back on the year before us, and the metrics that you'll see in this really give you a snapshot of what's happening at the airport from a statistical standpoint, but it also gets reported out to the FAA and to the industry. So the first slide, if you would, Jillian. So this first slide is the total number of airplanes that either landed or took off. We call them operations, and these are the metrics that the folks up in our control tower at San Bernardino collect. And what we saw this year was it was a good year. We saw a big jump in total aircraft activity, increased by about 20%. So we hadn't had this many operations since before the pandemic. And we saw a big jump. And the slides that follow will kind of explain in a little more detail where we saw those increases. Next slide, please. So this next slide compares us with the rest of the nation. If you look around the United States, you'll find 525 control towers. And so this shows San Bernardino's ranking. So out of those 525, you'll see we moved up to number 317 of the total towers out of 525. So we increased by 20%, but we also increased against the national macro trends, I guess is the right way to put it. Next slide, please. So one of the categories where we saw growth is in corporate-sized jets. The FAA and the controllers call them air taxis, but they're essentially corporate jets or large twin-type aircraft. This was a record for us. We were very near to 10,000 total operations by corporate aircraft at SBD this year. Next slide. And on the commercial size aircraft, these are either our cargo carriers or Breeze. We had a small dip in the total number of aircraft, and I'm going to come back to this in a little bit and shed a little bit more light on this story. But what we really saw in this category, the large commercial size aircraft, was steady strength, dipped by a little bit less than 5%. But really it's steady strength on top of 9 straight years of annual growth in this market segment. And the next slide shows our cargo. As you guys all know, we've seen strong growth in air cargo over the last 8 consecutive years. And it started with UPS in 2017, led to FedEx the following year, and then Amazon in 2021. So that trend has continued, and you notice that this is the majority of our large commercial size aircraft. You notice that this segment went up even though the overall number of commercial aircraft went down slightly, and that's because the cargo carriers are now flying more wide-body aircraft. So the total weight of the cargo aircraft continues to make this market segment grow, even though the total number of commercial aircraft dipped slightly. So this metric is based on tonnage of aircraft landed rather than just a blanket commercial aircraft operation. Yeah, Supervisor.
Madam Chair, may I?
Yes, please.
Does that impact the usage of our tarmac in terms of replacement and resurfacing with the weight of the heavier aircraft?
It has an impact over the life of the pavement. Frequency and weight are both factors that impact the life of pavement. We're very fortunate. As the former Norton Air Force Base, they blessed us with a lot of really robust concrete. It's well past its useful life, but continues to have some life left in it, if that makes any sense. We're fortunate, though. These metrics are important. One of the reasons they get shared with the FAA is it goes into the grant formula funding, and that turns into Mr. Barrow going out and rebuilding a lot of the existing taxiways and runway pavements and whatnot. So if you were to go back, I guess it was 3 years ago now in 2022, we had an $8 million grant we received from the FAA to rehabilitate the runway. We're going to have more of those grants coming up later this year for your consideration and approval as well. And it's really based on these categories and amount of activity that's taking place at your airport now. Next slide, please. Oh, I'm sorry. No, go back to that one. This is one of my favorites. So these are all of the commercial airports in the United States that serve all freighter aircraft. So airplanes that only move cargo, not the stuff in the bellies of commercial airlines, but the ones that are dedicated freighters. So this is one of the categories. To Supervisor Rao's standpoint, this is a category for the FAA that helps us receive grant funding so we can replace the pavement that gets worn out by the activity. And I think it's pretty neat that San Bernardino is now the 25th busiest air cargo airport in the United States. And that's happening at a time when the macro picture is much different. So last year, 17 of the top 25 airports in the country declined in aircraft activity, in cargo activity. That happened in 2022 as well. But at the same time, San Bernardino continues to grow and continues to grow steadily. So we don't know exactly where we're going to end up for 2024, but based on last year's rankings, we'll continue to be in the top 25. And this is a newer slide for us. We actually have a trend now because we've got 3 data points, which is pretty exciting. But we served approximately 40,000 passengers at San Bernardino last year, and that was on Breeze Airways. We're excited about next month where we have a nonstop route to Provo that'll count toward our total employment. So it's a second flight. And that'll kick off February 7th, and hopefully this next year, our 4th data point will move up. And lastly is international flights. We had a banner year in 2021, and this past year, 2024, was our 3rd highest since we started clearing customs flights in San Bernardino in 2012. So it was a decent year, not our best, but it's still a decent year, and it's moving in the right direction. And that concludes my report. Would be happy to answer any further questions you may have.
Thank you, Mark. Who puts these slide presentations together for you?
That'd be me.
That little paper airplane that, very clever.
Thank you. There's a theme going on.
For the record, he has to put his glasses on to do that, but he does.
It's okay. Good report. Thank you very much. Any questions for Mark?
Okay, moving marks to Mark about your audit, Mr. Kuzno.
Thank you, Mike. The audit continues to move forward. We've completed field work. We've reviewed a couple final drafts. We filed the State Controller's report of financial transactions, submitted our continuing disclosure in draft form at this point in time, and we are waiting to close out the audit, hopefully still this month, if not early February. I have a couple open audit procedures that the auditors have to perform, but that should be forthcoming shortly.
Okay, any questions for Mark?
And then on to Ms. Pritchett. January is a fun time for her as well.
It is. Good afternoon. I actually have a number of things to present on very quickly. First, before we jump into policies, I'd like to recognize the recent retirement of one of our very valued employees. As most of us read in Mike's Monday weekly update, Monette Mendoza, who began her employment with the agency in December of 1998, retired this month after 26 years. Monette worked in almost every capacity imaginable at the airport, from records to property management, finance, HR, shockingly, if we know Monette, before transferring over to Lux Severe SBD, where she worked her last years as our air show coordinator extraordinaire and assistant FBO manager. So we're sad to see her leave. Mama Mo, as most of us referred her to, is the matriarch of our SBD family, and she's going to be missed. Now the fun stuff, policies and procedures. Most of our policy updates this year were technical and conforming to comply with both state and federal regulations. The language to chapters and sections relating to harassment and discrimination, time and attendance, confidentiality, and compensation practices were all updated just for clarification. So nothing new, just improved. And as all of you saw, and we will keep harassing you, the IRS has designated each of you as proud employees of the SBIAA. As such, we do need to collect, and I'm making eye contact with a lot of you. I know you're not looking at me, Councilmember Sanchez. But we do need to collect your W-4s and direct deposit information so we can continue and add you to payroll. So multiple venues for that. Nydia, our HR manager, is here. She can collect, I can collect. We have a secure HR line. Smoke signals, we'll take anything you want to get us the information. So that concludes my report. If you have any questions, please let me know.
What signatures are they required for the W-4? Any of the items that you need?
No.
Can they be scanned in?
It can be electronic.
Perfect, thank you.
Of course.
Any other questions for Kat?
Okay, and last but not least, Jillian, as suggested, has the forecast for meeting dates, including those fun ones in the holiday season. Jillian.
Thank you, Mike. Good evening, Commission members. As we move into the new year, we wanted to provide you with the regularly scheduled Commission meeting dates for the calendar year 2025. Similar to previous years, the November meeting this year falls on the day before Thanksgiving, and the December meeting falls on Christmas Eve. So as the year progresses, we will communicate with the Commission on possible alternate meeting dates, or if the Commission prefers, alternative dates can be proposed earlier in the year. There's no action requested at this time. This is for informational purposes only.
Great. I think probably setting a date sooner than later, so maybe we can look at this in another month or so. Just be prepared. Any questions for? Okay, thank you. We'll move on to our consent calendar.
Move it.
We have a motion to move it.
Second.
And the second, was that you, Theodore? Thank you. Roll call?
Thank you. We have a motion by Member Rigsby and a second by Member Sanchez. Please state your votes for the record. Member Echevarria?
Yes.
Member Rigsby?
Yes.
Member Lilburn?
Yes.
Member Rao?
Yes.
Member Canas?
Yes.
And Member Sanchez?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. We'll move to item 9, which is our Good Neighbor program. And we have our presenter here.
Hello, that came up really quickly. Hi, everyone. Nice to see you all. Mayor Lilburn and Commissioners Mike and Mark, thanks for having me back to report on the Good Neighbor Quarterly Report to wrap up the year end of 2024. And Jillian is going to advance slides for me. So we're looking at page 4, Jillian, to start. We want to focus on our outreach and educational activities and results. We published the Good Neighbor News newsletter, sharing individual articles and promoting subscriptions. Promoted, of course, our wonderful airline, Breeze Airways, our low fares, and their service to San Francisco, and of course, the new service to Provo that starts, the new nonstop service to Provo that starts next month. And of course, the airport's easy access, affordable parking, traveler amenities. And on the bottom, you see the flock of females, as we coined them. We're having a lot of fun with our passenger portraits, just really engaging the community about who's using our airport, the local travelers, and the engagement has just been amazing on social media. So we're really pleased with the results as we go fly in and out and connect with our travelers and just share their stories, and people are really loving that. We also shared highlights of the airport team out in the community. Of course, the concert in October, I think that was, and then I have a hard time with this, Coptoberfest. And then, of course, the turkey trot on Thanksgiving Day. And then, as always, we spotlighted the airport's routes as the former Norton Air Force Base. Okay, we're going to get into the numbers. Page 8, please. Here we go. For October, we had 26 noise comments filed by 8 households. Page 11. We had in November 21 noise comments filed by 10 households. And page 14, in December, we had 15 noise comments filed by 9 households. On page 17, we have the totals and trends. Year over year, there was an increase in both noise comments received as well as the number of households filing comments. And this, of course, is attributed to ongoing aircraft operations, as well as the airport communicating with our neighbors and giving them the tools to connect with the airport about what's happening with aircraft operations and activity. Page 18, again for the fourth quarter, we had in total 62 noise comments filed by 20 distinct households. And here you see that broken out by zip code, with 40% of the overall comments received from 4 households in Highland, and almost 30% of the comments were filed by 5 households in Riverside. Page 19, here are the top 5 commenters for the quarter. with 58% of comments received from 5 households in Highland, Riverside, as well as Victorville. Page 20. Here are the year-over-year comments and households. We had an increase of a little over 60% in the number of households, and 8 additional households filed comments, again, year over year.
Can I ask you a question? Can you go back the one prior one? The one from Riverside and Victorville, what are they complaining about?
Right. Mark and I especially discussed Riverside a little earlier, and
are they sure they're the planes from here?
Well, again, doing a deep dive into the data, our understanding specifically for Riverside, it's a newer development as far as community members, and understanding that there are aircraft operating overhead, and so that's our understanding with what specifically is happening at Riverside, and of course that was a large number of concerns received from at least one household there.
Okay, and Victorville?
Victorville, I'm going to ask Mark to address Victorville, which is a little bit out there in the mountains area.
Yeah, people perceive noise in a unique way. Everyone is a little bit different. There's a citizen in the community of Victorville that doesn't like helicopters flying over. And we received noise comments about that because the helicopter activity it starts from San Bernardino. And to Rosemary's point, the Riverside is a development kind of on the border of Grand Terrace and Riverside, kind of over by UCR, which is on our departure path. It's over 10 miles away, but they perceive noise in a different way than some of the other communities do, I guess.
Commission member Lilburn brings up a really good point. Can you maybe walk us through what a complaint looks like? Is it a phone call? Is it submitted online? Because there are airports in Riverside, and I'm wondering if they're complaining about a plane in Riverside that's landing and taking off in Riverside and not the plane here in San Bernardino.
The one in Riverside specifically is underneath our departure path. So we can track where aircraft fly. We know the paths that they fly. So they are underneath that flight pattern.
Okay.
But it's a newer neighborhood. I think they did not know that they were underneath the flight path when the neighborhood was developed. I believe that's what's going on.
Because I know certain developers, and when you buy a house, you have to disclose or they have to sign something in.
You're correct. Yeah, and it's state law, that disclosure. So we worked with the state aeronautics department to develop the map for it for those specific reasons in accordance with the law. That one in Riverside in particular is well outside of the airport influence area. But the folks that live there still perceive noise and are happy to share those concerns with us.
And then you contact them, and do you talk to them?
So we give the opportunity for the community members to mark on their comment whether or not they want a response, and if they mark yes, within probably 2 to 3 business days max, our staff will reach back out to them if that's what they've asked for.
Okay. And for clarity on those, Mr. Galvan, your airport manager, his staff is the one who's specially trained that responds to those comments when they ask for feedback. And it's important. One of the backbones of this program is for responsive feedback. So whenever anyone requests feedback, they get it, and they get it promptly.
Good. Thank you very much.
Sure, all great questions. And I just wanted to answer Commissioner Sanchez. You did ask just a quick walk through how community members can file a comment, and that can be online. We offer the online form both in English and Spanish, and also by phone. And the information is recorded and it goes into a database, and then it's all analyzed. And ultimately, everything that's shared there is then shared in this quarterly report, if that makes sense. Okay, good. Okay, keep on moving. Thank you. And let's see, we're going to go to page 22, please. Okay, and here we are looking at the types of comments received, as well as the type of concern community members had, and the filing method. You know, we, again, community members can either file by the web form or hotline. And just look into my right, over 3/4 of neighbors filed their comment online, and we find that that's how, for the majority of commenters, they want to share their information that way. And again, looking to the left, the aircraft category and the type of concern, the jet aircraft activity was the most prevalent report, and flying over the home and unusually loud were the most prevalent concerns received. Page 23. And here is that same information in table format. And addressing that question earlier, the feedback we received on whether or not neighbors wanted a response to their comment, with almost 60% marking no. Page 25. Here's that heat map that we share quarterly. And it shows that the large majority of comments did come from neighbors located 5 to 10 miles from the airport, and of course a little bit of an outlier this time with the Riverside neighbors that we just discussed. And then to summarize the report on page 26, I always like to share quarter over quarter. Comments and households did decrease quarter over quarter. But for year over year, noise comments did increase, as well as the number of households filing increasing. And just to summarize, the year over year increase is attributed to ongoing aircraft operations, the airport's outreach to the community, as well as engaging and concerned community members seeking information and then using the tools that airport staff provide to them to connect and to learn more. And the program, it's 5 years in, it's an important community resource. It's an outlet for neighbors. It's a tool for educating pilots about neighborhood noise sensitivity. And then it allows the airport to share what's happening here at the airport, all the good news, all the activity, and ultimately how the airport supports the region that we serve here.
Thank you. Any questions? I will say on my way over here, driving down Victoria, there was a huge plane that took off from here, and it was beautiful.
Oh, good.
It was a nice sight.
We geeks think any airplane is beautiful.
Right?
Except the ones with the red bottom.
I know, there's been a lot of that lately. I know.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you
So
very much.
thank you for your report.
Appreciate it. Happy New Year, everybody. Great to see you. Thanks.
You too. Thank you. Okay, any added or deferred items to?
So no, just a quick flash of the action plan, and then I'll be very, very brief.
Oh, thank you. I'm sorry, Mike.
So next month, I just want to highlight Jonathan and his team are working hard to do our upcoming FAA emergency exercise. Yes. So this will be what we call a tabletop exercise. Every 3 years we do a full scale, which is a live one. But it's a great opportunity for our adjoining jurisdictions, their first responders, to be a part of obviously real world scenarios. And I just want to thank John and the team for their work on that. We'll get some more announcements out on the date and the time on that. It'll actually be held here with a whole team of folks. So be on the lookout for that. John, the date for that is February 19th?
19th.
Whew. There's a test later.
10:30 a.m.
Okay, and then we'll punch that out to everybody. But again, Happy New Year, and the upcoming FAA taxiway project will hopefully hit the street very soon. We have moved to a digital bid data room. We've road tested this with a recent EDA grant on the IVDA side with great success. And we're excited to see how this next FAA project comes up. So be on the lookout for that. That concludes our report. Thank you.
Great. Thank you. All right. Now any items, any deletions, or, okay, deferred? Thank you. I have no public speaker comment cards. Do we have any public comment?
No, we do not.
Great, thank you. Any commission member comments? Theodore?
I would just like to congratulate Kimberly Canas on her first successful airport meeting. Looking forward to working with you here at the airport. And I want to acknowledge our mayor who's in the audience, as well as Mayor Pro Tem, former Mayor Pro Tem Fred Charette, who's also in the audience.
So many changes. How do we keep up? Thank you. Any other comments? I just want to say our hearts go out to Frank Navarro today. So keep him in your thoughts and prayers, and very sad. So without any more commission member comments, we'll go ahead and adjourn.